Welcome to Laugh and Learn, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Flamin' Ro, along with my gorgeous and beautiful co-host, Lauren Hogan, who's right there.
Yes.
And our fabulous cameraman, Mr. Kendall. Y'all say hello to Kendall. And I got to remember to look up at Kendall because y'all got at me because I wasn't looking up at Kendall. But I be trying to read y'all comments. How are you today, Mrs. Hogan?
I'm good. How are you?
Lauren giving y'all legs today.
Child, it's a little warm in Southern California. I thought I was doing something. I was like, I'll leave my legs out, but I should have just had my arms out too. It's
warm. Always warm, but it's humid today for some reason. We got
global
some humidity.
Warming.
Well,
global warming.
Tell that to the penguins that live in
Antarctica,
and they over there with bathing suits on. Shit, it's hot. They supposed to be cold. It's hot. Thank you guys for watching the page yesterday to see that we did the rooftop show with Tiffany Haddish and Kevin Tate and Dion Cole. I had a good time. Thank you to DJ Sidekick and to Elliott Productions. Start on time, but thank you guys for that. But I was there. We did a show.
And a new episode is uploaded, at least to your YouTube page.
Yes, Lauren did upload last week's episode of Laugh and Learn with Flame and Lauren. It's up now on YouTube.
Yep.
So subscribe to my page. Lauren, did you put it on your page as well?
Not yet. Priority was putting it on your page, so it's up there. Go look at it for now.
She's very professional, y'all. See, that's why I keep her around.
She's very
professional. She is.
Thank you.
She's very. I don't even want to tell y'all about the call I got on Friday. But anyway, let's get to Laugh and Learn later because we're not gonna keep it long. It's hot. We're hot.
It's hot as hell.
It's a lot going on in the world, and I wanted to just say that I made a post. I had a meeting or did the interview with Fox. Was that Fox like a week or so ago?
Yeah.
And I talked about the whole incident about censoring comedians and what we could not say. I made the point about, and I hate that Fox didn't show that, to say that I've heard of a mass shooting every week. In fact, they just had one in Florida. A mass shooting every week. Have you ever heard of mass laughter hurting anyone? It's just a hypothetical question. Don't answer.
Oh, okay.
Because you don't want to stop selling AR-15s, but you want to stop us from saying what we want to say. I ain't heard of nobody being shot and killed from a damn laughter. Mass laughter don't happen unless you go to a comedy club to laugh. Mass shootings happen in grocery stores, funerals, schools.
Can
parks.
we address that though?
Yeah.
Because of all the mass shootings in just grocery stores and malls and things like that, I've had 2 incidents probably in the last week where I've gotten like anxiety ridden being in the store because somebody looks suspicious.
Yeah.
So once I was in Albertsons last weekend over in Gardena, and there was a guy outside, but he had a backpack and it was open and I couldn't see it. And then he ended up coming in the store and was just holding the backpack in front of him with it open.
Did you get paranoid?
I did. I got paranoid and I rushed to the checkout line and I was like, let me get the hell out of here.
Oh, but you still checked out. Because I would have got paranoid and left.
Well, no, because I watched him because the way that my mind works, I was like, let me see where he goes. So I made sure I stayed on the opposite side of the store from where I saw him, just in case I needed to exit. There was an exit door right there. Yeah. So I was like, let me just get this stuff and I'm going to head out. And then yesterday I was in Costco. I got in line to get my meds from the pharmacy. And there was this white man that was just staring at me for like 25 seconds. And when I mean 25 seconds, I mean 25 seconds. This old white man was just staring at me.
What was the look on his face, though?
Like
he could have been attracted to you.
No, it was giving like he hated me.
Oh, wow.
Like, and it was just staring at me. And I was just like, okay. And he had his hands in his pocket. So and
I know you ain't had your thing?
I had my knives with me to shoot. A knife can't stop a bullet.
It sure the hell cannot.
So I was like, my knee-jerk reaction was definitely to go off and be like, what the fuck are you looking at?
Yeah.
But I was like, okay, his hands are in his pocket. He looks crazy and he's white. So I just was like looking down. I was like, let me not engage. And every time I looked back up, this man was still staring at me.
Yeah. Lauren, what that speaks volumes because you're 27. I'm double your age probably where I am. And it's still the same fear. Because remember I told you I was in Walmart and I'm so suspicious. I'm like what T.T. Jan said. I'm keeping because now I'm looking at you. If you got a long coat on for no reason, if you dressed in all black or something for no reason, I'm like paranoid as shit.
Hell yeah.
This is the world that we live in. And monkeypox ain't helping it because now they want us to live in a touchless world. They don't even want us to embrace each other. I'm telling you.
But long story short, that man was crazy because another person came up behind me. He started talking to us out of the blue. And was like, isn't being a human such a beautiful thing? And look at all these chips around. He was crazy. Bottom line.
I would have went to another Costco. Preferably one where they give a lot of free food.
we love a good sample. But just saying all that to say, I am so paranoid now. It's crazy.
And so imagine your demographic and my demographic. If we don't ever meet eye to eye or come to no conclusions where we meet about the same thing about anything, we meet the same thing about that, because I'm nervous too. And I'm not nervous that, because you never know where it's going to happen. I'm not even nervous that of being hurt or maimed or whatever, but I'd be nervous for my children because I'm old school. I'm going to try to hide in the freezer or some shit, or I'm going to try to retaliate back. But when you don't see it coming and you don't expect it, we living in the same kind of environment. And it don't matter whether you in a all black neighborhood or all white neighborhood. Crazy is crazy, and crazy travels.
You ain't said nothing but a word. So.
And I think I may have to come to your facility and get me a monkeypox vaccine, because I'm thinking about getting that one. Because let me tell you something. Fans, I love y'all. I know y'all love to take pictures of me and hug me and smell me. And I love it, love it, love it. But, baby, that monkeypox is ugly. And I'm light-skinned, too. Oh, no, honey.
The crazy thing is, I'm going to say, well, good luck qualifying to get one. You have to meet a certain criteria in order to get a monkeypox vaccine. They're just not readily available.
Well, so. I can always lie and say I'm having sex with men.
You can do that, but that's the gay men or men who are having sex with men are at the forefront of saying, okay, I meet this criteria, you can get a monkeypox vaccine.
Well, let me publicly say this, that I do not agree with the shit that they're putting out to say that this disease is a gay man's disease. That was the same shit they said about AIDS in 81, that if you wasn't white and going to bathhouses, you couldn't catch it. Meanwhile, women and babies were dying all the time from HIV and AIDS. So it is not a gay man's disease. It is your responsibility to know who you're sleeping with and protect yourself. And this ain't even got nothing to do with sex. Somebody could just touch you.
Yeah, it's a skin-to-skin disease.
Ugh.
Or not, I shouldn't say disease. It's a skin-to-skin virus. Let me be correct in what I said.
I'm gonna call my doctor and tell him I'm thinking about taking it up the ass. I'm thinking about pulling a little murder. Can I get a shot? I'm thinking about pulling me a little. Speaking of little murder, I met Nico Onan the other day, Lauren, at the Red Carpet event.
So y'all met for the first time? I thought y'all knew each other.
No, we knew each other from talking on live, but I had never face-to-face person. Like, I ain't never met Tisha Campbell. We interviewed her. I ain't never met Joe Coy. We interviewed him.
Right.
But I met him, and he seen on the Red Carpet. We did a Red Carpet event for OMNTS, which is a shoe line. So it was all about the shoes on the Red Carpet. That's why I wore those funky shoes, and I was trying to find a dress to match. Mm-hmm. And he seemed more excited to meet me than I was to meet him, but it felt so familiar. Like, I knew him already. Like, oh my God. And and everybody thought he was flirting with me. He was smelling my fragrance because I be smelling good.
I was going to say, your cover photo of that video of y'all together is telling a bit of a different story.
It looked like we was doing it.
Yeah, it looked like y'all was doing something.
Well, he topping this quarter. So he topping, I'm topping. What that's going to do? What that's going to look? A sword fight? On guard. It is still laugh and learn before we get to the deep, but let's talk. Let's be funny. So how was your week, Ms. Lauren? Because we're going to be missing you after when? Monday? Tuesday?
No. I'll still be here for a couple Mondays, but there is a Monday in the month where I'm going to be gone. But things are getting busy for me again. I go to Vegas tomorrow for a week, and then I got to go to like Atlanta and then New Orleans and New York and maybe Ohio.
Lauren, please be safe.
So
all I can say is please be safe. Corona is back with a vengeance. Our president tested negative and then positive the day later. I don't think that he had got past the first hurdle. Let me be honest.
I don't think so either.
And I think they were just
old.
Yeah, and he's
old.
No
shade. This is not ageism.
No,
but
it's not.
He's old.
He is old. And remember when Corona first hit, mostly it was affecting a lot of older people. So don't forget that, y'all. And they are so afraid. They are so afraid to say for an hour that Kamala Harris has the responsibility of being the president of these United States, that he could be on his deathbed and they won't give her that title.
Well, they did give it to her. Remember when he went into Fort Detrick to have that surgery? She was president for like 5 hours.
Oh, and they kept it as low key as possible.
Yeah, she was president for like 5 hours because Joe Biden had to go in and have a surgery. I remember that. That was months ago. But child, he just keeps getting COVID. Poor man.
COVID is out here, y'all. Put your mask on. Wear your mask. I use Lysol, but Lysol don't do nothing for monkeypox.
Oh, we got to get to the lighthearted stuff first.
Yeah.
Beyonce released another album.
You can't break my soul. You can't break my soul.
She released an album, and I actually officially just listened to it. I really like it. It's it reminded me of her self-titled album, Blow. You know that song Blow that she has? It's like she stayed in that lane and just created a whole album. And I love it.
Well, I haven't heard Alien Superstar, but I heard that was one that was really hot. But I love Big Frida on Break My Soul. And shout out to Big Frida and T.S. Madison for both having not lyrics on the song, but they both have spoken parts on both of Beyonce. One of T.S. Madison got one or two. I don't know the name of the song that T.S. is on.
I didn't even know that.
But she's on something. I'm blacker than black. I'm motherfucking black. I'm double black. So it was catchy. It's cute.
I missed that.
And Frida, Big Frida, I love. Release the trade. Release the stress. I just love Big Frida.
Big Frida pretty much has a bit of a feature.
Yeah, Big Frida came on through with it. So when
T.S. Madison is on Cozy. I listened to Cozy. I did not hear her.
Oh, Cozy. That's the name of the song.
I did not hear her.
Mm-hmm. So shout out to Maddie and shout out to Big Frida for representation and being on with the number one star, Miss Beyonce, the diva. Beyonce, when you make the video, I just want to be dressed up as Tina in the video.
You can be a stunt double.
Yeah, I can be the stunt double for the mama. You can throw me off a bus or a train or some shit, you know. And one of some break my soul, you can't break my soul. You can just throw mama. I'm sick of you, mama, and push me off the train. And I be Tina.
Oh my Lord.
For real, like for play. So let's get to the deepness. Lauren, I really do want to get a monkey. I need to see. I would get that one, the monkeypox vaccine.
Well, it's just like basically the smallpox vaccine, right?
Okay. Well, I take the pneumonia vaccine. So I'm not against. I don't want people to think that I'm against vaccines. I'm not against vaccines. Some shit be scary to me, but I'll take that monkeypox one.
But supposedly, more background information, there's supposed to be 2 doses, but because there's not enough supply to meet the demand, they're only going to, like in some states, they're only giving one, the first dose. They're not going to give you both.
If y'all thought Fatal Attraction stopped you from cheating, this monkeypox going to scare the hell out of me. I don't want to give it to nobody.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the front, the back, or the sides.
Yeah.
What else is in the news, Lauren Hogan?
Well, I don't know about the national news, but in my news, my birthday's on Friday.
That is true. The day after the president, Barack Obama's, Lauren's birthday is
Leos
Friday,
are just
y'all.
special. We're just special people. It's fine.
I got a Leo in the house. If there's a word, it's a special. It's another meaning with that special.
I'm a different kind of Leo, though.
No, you're not. Y'all the same.
I'm a very different kind of Leo.
Look at my black lady at the welfare office lips. That's right. Lauren's birthday is Friday. She's going to be 28?
27.
Oh, she'll be. God, I feel old.
You're 39-ish, remember?
That was on that day. It kicked in the next day. The realization of old age kicked in like that next morning.
Life caught up. Okay.
You'll be so old when you get up and you raise up and you sit on the bed. You have to just let your feet wave over the edge of the bed because you're like, what do I want to do first? Do I want to step down and go to the bathroom? Oh, my God, it's a mess. So we gonna send Lauren. We're going to have a special love lounge for Lauren Friday, even though she won't be here. And we're going to send cash apps to Lauren. Because she got a new house and she got about toilet paper and paper towel and stuff. You know how they do.
It's
Costco.
Expensive. Life is expensive. That's all I'm going to say.
Deep in the conversation, where we going, Lauren? Let's talk about, I want to talk about the main topic.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so here's my thing. So Congress has 157 members of Congress voted against gay marriage, right?
Okay.
Including one of the congressmen who had just attended his gay son's wedding to another, and so he voted against that. So my question is, are you against your son? That ain't even my biggest issue right now. The biggest issue is that they made this whole thing about they don't want kids to be going to drag shows. Now, before y'all attack me, let me say how I feel about that. I'm in a complete agreement with that. But not on the aspect of where I'm agreeing with Congress. I'm agreeing with the entertainers and the club owners. It is not their responsibility, nor the entertainer's responsibility to be responsible for what your child sees when you knew up front what was going on. A lot of these drag shows have a lot of vulgarities. And I'm talking about the brunches. I ain't even talking about the night shows because you got to be 21 to get in the night show, or at least 18. And when I say kids, I'm talking about ages 3 to 11 when they're real impressionable. Vulgarity, nudity. The language is ridiculous. And I say this about the brunches because brunches, you can't do ballads. You have to do upbeat numbers, which is Beyonce naked and the titties and the breastplates. And some of these breastplates look very real to adults. So I can only imagine what they look like to children. And I think it's inappropriate, first of all, for you to bring your children to the unless, because there is an unless, they have been exposed to that at home or been exposed to that in your personal life. So you may have an uncle or a brother or somebody that does drag or a close friend. So they understand that, they know that, because my children knew that. Not only have my children been to the drag show, my daughters have been in a drag show with me, but they were used to that. If you take somebody who has never been exposed to a very impressionable kid, you could do a lot of personal damage to that kid. And that's not to say that you can't pick up a cell phone right now and go to Twitter and see everything you want to see. But the kid did that on their own, not you taking your kid to a drag show. Lauren, I want to know your opinion. You're a straight woman.
I agree. I agree with what you're saying. I think it's just interesting because, before when I was like doing events and stuff with my job, I would go around and like see different prides.
Mm-hmm.
And like some prides are just drawing the connection. Some prides are buck wild. Like if you went to Houston, everybody's naked, wanting to jump in water. You go to New York, everybody's naked. But then if you go to a place, oddly enough, like Baton Rouge, Louisiana, their pride is actually family oriented. You see a lot of parents that bring their kids to this pride. And it's very family like. It's different. So saying that to say, I would say know the event, kind of like a know your audience. But if you are going to bring your kid to a drag show, know what type of content your kid's going to see and if it's appropriate to have your kid in that setting. And if it's not, don't bring them. But I don't know if maybe we want to split responsibility and maybe some drag shows need to say 18 and older or 21 plus or whatever that is to kind of keep that younger crowd out that shouldn't be seeing those things because maybe the parents' judgment is in their ass at the time. I don't know. Maybe that's something that promoters and the club owners could do. But I agree with you. I don't think that young kids need to necessarily see that.
Well, the problem with that is a lot of them are at restaurants. You know what I mean? So you can't say, oh, it's 18 and older at a restaurant when your kids is coming to eat and they have kid menus and all of that. It is just, like you said, it really is up to the individual who's raising that kid or who's responsible for that kid. But I don't like that they're trying to blame the entertainers or the club owners. It's not the drag queen's fault. Yeah. I'm not going to change my act because you didn't change yours. If Beyonce is the hottest ticket on the market and I know that's going to make me the most money in tips, I'm going to do Beyonce, which means I'm going to probably have on a bathing suit and try to look as much like Beyonce as I possibly could. But your kid, I've been at the drag show here. When I used to work at the drag show here, they would have their kids that come up to tip us and everything, and my boobs all out. And, you feel like it's a kid, and it ain't my kid.
Honestly, I feel like it just depends on if you are that parent. Because, honestly, speaking from personal experience, when my mom was out, if she could be out in the street, I was with her. So sometimes when I was 8 years old, I was out till 2 o'clock in the morning. You know what I mean? Just hanging out with her. And my mom was born and raised in New York. So in my opinion, I think sometimes that upbringing is a little different. Like my grandmother, for instance, worked on Broadway. She was, a hairstylist. Mm-hmm. So my mom was out late hours of the night because my grandmother was working, so she was backstage with dancers who sometimes had to strip because they had to do a quick change. So yes, there was nudity on display and those different things. So I grew up as a dancer, so I experienced those things too as a young age. It just depends, and I think it also goes to the parent and how you educate your child and the surrounding that you're in and what this means and different things like that. So I never want to judge anybody, but I kind of can see both sides, saying all that to say.
Yeah, well, I don't think Congress has no say-so over this. Y'all got way bigger fish to fry. Yeah, this should not be that important on your docket. But, of course, y'all have made it important in your docket because of Florida and Texas with their BS. But if y'all want to fight for something, I should think they should fight for this. If I was still doing drag shows for a living, because I still enjoy doing a drag show sometimes, but if I was doing it for a living, I would have some pushback on this. Like, don't fault me for you not being responsible for your kid.
I also think that Congress has bigger issues that they should be focusing on. And in this instance, I would just say mind your damn business and actually do your job, because there's much bigger problems in the world rather than you trying to regulate a drag show. But anyway.
Cause and it goes to the whole library thing. Because remember, they were having the library time, story time at the libraries with the kids. Now I was with that until I seen one of the drag queens sitting there with this bathing suit on, with the breastplate and all her ass out, with the thigh high boots, and it was just ridiculous because Mrs. Doubtfire was safe. a Mormon with a dress up to the neck with the little lace around the collar and come all the way down to the ankles, that's safe for a kid. You know what I mean? But for me, you want to read me a romper room story, and I'm sitting here looking at you with your ass out and your titties out, and I'm 4 years old, and I'm like, I can't even hear the story because I'm too fascinated at what the hell I'm looking at.
You know, I mean, that, like I said, I could see both sides, because in the same vein, it's like your kids still have access to the internet, so they can go look at it on the web if they wanted to.
That's the truth.
I think the responsibility does fall on the parent to have these conversations at the end of the day, because it's no different from, you know, my mom always said, if you wanted to go out and smoke weed or to drink, you need to do it at home first, because you don't want to be in the street having those first time experiences.
Yeah.
So it's important as a parent, I think, to educate your kid at home, so if they do experience that out and about, they know what that is. You know what I mean? And it's not a shock, and they're not naive, and, you know, just not educated about it. So
Timmy Bright Eyes, I hear you. The girls should have saved the racy stuff for the late night shows, not appropriate for daytime shows. Well, here's the thing. The daytime shows, you have to do upbeat numbers. At brunches, you cannot do slow numbers. So you want to do the nakedness then. The nighttime shows, you can do a ballad and be gowned up because there's a stage and lighting. So it's a whole different. And they encourage you to do upbeat numbers at the brunches, or you won't be booked anymore. So that's still not the responsibility of the entertainers. That is the responsibility. I'm taking my kid, and the club I worked at here, this girl did a song by Wendy Ho every week called, it was a retake off of Get Here. I don't care how you get, but it was Wendy Ho singing Fuck Me. The name of the song is Fuck Me If You Can. And it's nonstop. And I would see these kids in here hearing this vulgarity and ridiculous. And the song is catchy for us because we're grown. But it is ridiculous for children. And I was like, oh my God. So, and I didn't ever expect the girl to change her act. Why would she? This is where she works. This is her job. She's doing her job. But she would always say, and then me and this heifer hated each other. But respectfully, she would always say, I'm putting out this disclaimer. This song is going to be inappropriate language and woo woo woo. So you could take your kids out before the show starts. Just if you took them out in the lobby just until the song was over and then brought them back. So I have to give her kudos for that. I ain't gonna get a bitch nothing else, but I'm gonna give her kudos for that. So that's respectful. But it is preponderous for y'all to want to blame the entertainers or the club owner for this, because it's not their fault. You brought your kids to that shit.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And if I wasn't a trans person and a performer and I had you, I wouldn't want to expose my children to that, because maybe, not to say that they're going to turn gay or turn trans or want to do drag shows, but if you haven't sat down, just like Lauren said, her mom sat down and talked to her, you have to talk to these kids. But I don't know how to explain a man dressed up like a woman at a show that looks like, cause a lot of campy drag do brunches. It'd be a lot of, I don't know how to explain that. It's like, is it a circus? Is it, I would know how to explain it. I'm not, please don't take that as disrespect, because I didn't mean it in a disrespectful way. It's just talking to a kid is very different than talking to an adult or talking to even a teenager. You have to ABC it for the kids to explain, well, this is how they live, and then the whys and little kids say, why? But why? But why? I never liked but why. I always wanted to punch my kids in the throat. But why? Boom. Does that mean?
No, it's just it speaks to different parenting styles, because my parents used to say, ask questions.
My
They
kids,
wanted to
I
know
want,
what
but
you
not
were
but why.
thinking.
When I explained it to you, I want to hear, but why?
Well, okay. Yeah. Yeah. There were those times where my mom was just like, I said it, shut up, and
Like,
just
boom.
accept it.
Because
Yeah.
as a parent, you'd be like, okay, I'm not doing no more. But why? Because you have to realize that as a parent, sometimes you are uncomfortable explaining it to a child or to your own kid. I was uncomfortable, like, ugh. When I had to have a sex talk with my biggest kids, or all three of them, I was like, ugh, I don't want to do this. But I had to do it.
Sure.
I should have told my daughters earlier. I should have talked to them when they was like 4. Shit, especially that older one. Yeah, it does open up the question, Bobby, and we're going to open up the lines to you all because we want to know y'all opinions before we get off. So let's bring Bobby on. I ain't heard from Bobby in a minute. Bobby just kicked COVID's ass. I'm so proud of you, Bobby Clifford.
No, Bobby, you had COVID? Oh, my
Bobby had
goodness.
COVID. Bobby, come on, send us a request so we can get you.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on.
Because Bobby
with
kicked
Paige.
COVID's ass, and COVID is beatable and treatable. I don't know about this new one, but it is beatable and treatable, but you got to fight it. Bring on the girls. Bring back. Who says that? Bring back my girls.
I gotta get the headphones.
Hello.
Hi, Jan. Hi, Bobby C.
Hey, Bobby. I'm so happy for your recovery. I didn't know you were down ill.
Yeah, I didn't know you had COVID either.
It was not pleasant. I had it for 2 days. I was actually getting ready to go to Jesse's play. And I said, I wasn't feeling great. And I said, let me test myself. Because before I went and I made plans and bought a ticket and all that. And I turned up positive. I was exhausted. But I took the antiviral. And that really helped. Horrible aftertaste in your mouth, but it was worth it.
Is that the Paxlovid?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Because
But
Biden,
you remember
that's what
when
Biden
we
took.
were, yeah, when we were little, Flame, remember if your mother gave you an iron pill or gave you a vitamin, you had that horrible. So you have, just
like
so people are aware, you have that, yes, but it's for the entire 5 days that you take it. If you wake up in the middle of the night, you've got the taste. If you roll over and you wake up, you got the taste. It doesn't go away. You have that horrible aftertaste. But that said, if it's that or feel the way I felt the first 2 days that I thought a truck ran over me, I would rather the bad taste. And the minute you stop taking it, it goes away.
Good. Okay.
So wait a minute, Bobby, you had to take the pills for 5 days?
Yes, it's a 5-day. So what I did is, so anybody is aware how, because I had no idea how you got the pills. I called my doctor thinking they were going to prescribe something for me. No. So what happens is the doctor puts some sort of link in to the government. You get the pills from the government. They cost you nothing. You get them from Walgreens and CVS and whatnot. And when they give them to you, I looked the same way. I didn't want, because of my sister Teresa, I didn't want my family getting COVID. So I had the mask and I had gloves and the whole bit. So did the guy on the other side of CVS.
Thank you for that info, Bobby, because that's going to help somebody. Somebody needs to. I didn't even know that. I didn't even know you can get it like that.
So that's what happens. So you tell them. So they send a link, and then what happens is the government sends you a link to your phone, and it says, please answer these questions, because here's the other thing, everybody. We're not all applicable for it. We all don't qualify. So you answer a few questions like, do you have diabetes? Do you have high blood pressure? Blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. And then it says, okay, you're going to qualify in a few moments. Hold your phone because you have a telemed visit. And the link then puts a little spiral thing, and a nurse probably in Montana somewhere with booty shorts and a tank top, believe it or not. That was her. I could have cared less that she was my savior. I said, if this is what God looks like in a tube top, then bring it to me. She says, it looks like you're applicable for it. I'm going to call it in. She was a nurse practitioner. She said, you should be getting a call from CVS in the next half hour if there are any questions. And then she sent me another link to call her back if there was a problem.
Oh, so that's kind of like a Z-Pack. It's kind of like a Z-Pack with without an aftertaste, because Z-Pack don't have an aftertaste.
Yeah, and you take it there are 3 pills twice a day. So it comes in a sheet like a Z-Pack, and you pop the pills out. You take 3 at once and then 3 at once. The other thing that they want you to do that I didn't do because I didn't read it until the end is they want you to try to take them around the same time of day. So the medication is dispensing evenly throughout the day.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I did it whenever my giant rear end rolled over in bed. I put them in. But by day 2, I felt like, I was cleaning the house and whatnot. I still get a little tired, but other than that, for me, it was waves of exhaustion, Flame. I don't know if it affected you that way. But I was, I'd be talking like this and I'd be like, oh, guys, I got to go and lay down because I couldn't keep my head up. And that's how COVID affected me.
Do you know what strand you had? Because I know that there's the new it's called CA5 or BA5 or something like that. Do you know what strand you had?
I don't. I went and as I said, I tested, and I will say I test pretty regularly because of Terry, and it always comes up after the 15 minutes with the one line. I didn't get the 3 drops in, and boom, I had 2 lines like in 2 seconds. So I went, oh, I've got it. No clue with strain. They didn't discuss that with me or anything. And I'm pretty good. Like I Purell going in a store, out of a store. I wear my mask if it's going to be super crowded. If it's not going to be so crowded, I don't. Maybe I got careless there. I was Terry was in rehab at the time after a car accident, and I don't know if I got it in there. I have no idea how I got it, but
we glad you fought it, and I'm better.
Yeah.
Jan, how are you?
I'm sorry.
You know what? No.
You're sorry for what, girl? You gave people. I love the information that you gave.
Thank you for the info. For sharing. I am well. I just going through life's trials, but I pushed through. Like my son says, when you're going through hell, keep pushing. And so I just had an episode of hell, but I pushed through. So all is well.
When I go through hell, I'm gonna get naked because I hear it's quite warm down there.
Yes, I'm
You look for
sure.
any excuse to get naked.
You see, I'm being attacked. Oh my God, I can't take her.
I opened
I
the door
will
on
say,
that one.
That's how I
just
did
had to walk
COVID.
through.
I did COVID with no clothes. I was hot. I had a fever. And I'm like, oh my God, if I ever pass out and some poor fireman has to come in here, God bless him. I left a 50 on the table, so at least he would have been compensated.
Oh, I want to ask both you ladies about the topic that we're talking about this whole kids going to the drag shows and things. Because, I didn't do it that time, y'all. That was that wasn't me. That was Lauren.
That was me.
I
sorry.
want both of y'all are parents. How do y'all feel about that? And be honest. And don't be. And I don't want the answer because we don't laugh. I want how you really feel as a woman, as a mother, as a parent about the drag shows.
Well, for me, I don't want children around me at all when I'm in a good time space for me.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm out with sorors or at a backyard park, I don't want, if it's for adults, it should be for adults, for me.
Yeah.
Because not just for the entertainers, you might not know what I'm going to say after I've had a couple of drinks.
Right.
And I resent having to safeguard myself. You know what I mean?
As
I
older
agree,
as older
100%.
people, you know what our parents used to tell us: ain't no kids in here, which means you
Right.
had to leave the room. Did you ever hear
Right.
that,
Yeah.
Lauren, from your mama? Yeah, ain't no kids in here. Oh,
Right.
before we go any further, I just want to give a great shout out to my co-host here and my manager and my friend because Angelina Jolie's daughter is going to Spelman, and Lauren Hogan had a big hand in that, y'all, because she met and worked with Angelina Jolie, and so she sells Spelman to everybody. She sold Angelina on it, and her daughter is going to Spelman. So shout out to
I
Lauren
saw
Hogan for
When I
getting
was
Angelina
little.
Jolie and her daughter there.
Congratulations.
No, I mean, I don't know if it was solely my responsibility, but I did have a really great conversation with both of them. We were at the Regency West in Leimert Park, and she
Right.
actually came down. It was a Spelman informational, so I'm just glad to see that she decided to go to Spelman. So congratulations to
too.
her. She's going to be a part of
am too.
amazing sisterhood.
Okay, now back to the topic. I had to give my sister, my girl, her praise for that.
Thank you,
Because
thank
you know she
you.
might have hit me. Y'all know she beat me off camera. Okay, come on.
The lies that are told on this platform is crazy.
I
Anyway.
agree with Jan 100%. I can't stand when people bring kids to weddings and stuff, especially when they're not invited and people just bring them along. If I want to have fun. I want to have fun. Like I left mine at home. And I don't think, in my opinion, I'm sorry if I'm offending anybody, I don't think a drag show is especially for anybody under, up until 12 years of age. I don't think it's the place for it.
Yeah.
And I think there are a lot of questions, and you have to be 100% be able to answer those kids' questions. You're not going to be able to tap dance and not tell them exactly what's going on.
Let me ask
I
you.
don't
Let
think
me
it's
ask you
right.
both a question, and you too, Lauren. Do you think it makes a difference if it's a little boy or a little girl?
No.
No.
No, to me, no.
No. Okay. I'm just asking.
No.
I think
No.
if you asked a straight man that question, they would say something different. But personally, I don't think
Maybe.
so. No.
Probably they would say
And
something.
I'm defending my entertainers because I still love to do a drag show sometimes. You
Right.
know, I still love to go to, but I wouldn't have I never took my children with me to just sit and watch the drag show. When I took my children with me, I was on the show and I didn't have a babysitter because they were young at the time, or
Right.
I just wanted them at the show with me because we may have something to do right after. I don't know what the scenario was, but it was not like it was an every week thing. And I think I've only took them to a drag show twice. Once when they were on with me, and once when I did Botch. Then we did the reveal, and they had to be there. And my son was uncomfortable with me shaking my ass in a dress while he had to watch. At the time, I think he might have been 10 or 11 because that was years ago. So I was uncomfortable. And as a parent, I was uncomfortable, but I still wanted to give the same show. We had the TV cameras watching us, so I had to give the same show that I would give, even though my son was sitting in the audience, because my daughters always thought I was the Queen of England. But my son was like, dude, I don't want to see that. You know, so as a dad and as a parent, I had to explain to him, this is what I do. This is who I was before y'all came. I'm not going to ask you to change your life from who you are, but please don't ask me to change mine. And that's how I talk to my son.
Good.
Well,
Good.
that's appropriate. And I also think you just said something in there. you had to give the same show. So these shows are set up for the masses. They're not set up for one person and one exception. Right. And if I'm paying the same money as Jan, who brought her son to the drag show, why should I have less of a show because Jan brought her child?
Right.
It's not fair.
And don't cheat me because somebody else got their damn
don't cheat me.
Yeah.
It is a crazy time, y'all. Listen, Bobby, I want you to stay safe and continue to wear your mask. Yes. The way it's looking, girl, I don't know what they're gonna do. Are y'all gonna get the monkeypox vaccine? Bobby
Probably
may not need to. Jan, are you going?
I know I don't get out much. Skin to skin, I wish.
Jan do a lot of skin to skin, boo.
I am, but I try to keep it. I try to keep it consistently.
You keep it consistent with the same skin.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Consistent and consensual. That's her motto.
Yes. Yes.
Oh.
I don't have a problem because I do the smallpox. I've done chicken pox. You know, I had them, but I gave my son it.
That's the monkeypox vaccine. It's a derivative of the smallpox vaccine. That's
right.
What it is. So
it's a little too many poxes. It's too many poxes for me. Damn it! Wait till you see this. The hell with a monkeypox. Wait till you see this tranny box. Who the hell's a damn about a damn monkeypox? Good God! I'm gonna take it though. If I can get it, I'm gonna take it because I don't want.
I am too. I got too much square footage here. Could you imagine the pox? I'd have like a gazillion. The pox would be on the pot. I can't do that. No, it can't happen.
Bobby, you are a mess. Bobby, thank you for sharing. And I'm telling you something. That information that you gave about the Paxlovid, that's going to help somebody because somebody did not know that. I want to bring my sister Tasha on. She does. She's a female impersonator. She does fantastic drag shows because I want to get it from another person's perspective that's actually involved.
Absolutely,
Tasha Long.
Thanks, girls. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Bobby Clifford. TT Jan. I'm gonna see you on Thursday. Yeah, that's her.
Right.
On your show.
Right.
All right.
Okay.
Bye, ladies.
All right. Love you guys more.
Those are flamettes, baby, for life. See, those are the bad girls of comedy. Bobby left. Did you invite TT? I call her TT Long. We got TT Long and a TT Janet. Yeah, it is. And please, we don't want to make this controversial. I just don't think Congress should be involved in this. Tasha, I see everything but you.
Let me turn it around, Joe.
I see everything but you. Ooh, there she is, Miss America. Tasha, let me introduce you to my beautiful co-host, Lauren Hogan. Lauren, say hello to TT Long.
Pleasure to meet you.
Hey, Lauren. It's a pleasure meeting you.
Who is all them bitches in the back of you? I don't know none of them hoes.
I don't need the girl.
So, Tasha, the question is, and I'm telling you, I am not against it because I do drag shows. I worked brunches. How do you feel when people bring children to the show that's really underage? When I'm talking about children, I'm thinking 3 to 11. And Tasha, you got a beautiful body. You do Tina, you do Dionne Warwick, you get naked. You know, how do you feel as an entertainer? Does it make you uncomfortable?
We're talking 3 to 11?
Yes. At the drag show, at the brunch, because they can't come to the night shows. They can only come to the brunch.
Now, when I'm performing and I see that, I think it's cute. And I'll try to be very respectful, But my show is not X-rated. Mine is mostly G-rated, so it's okay. But for those there are some venues that I work at that will tell the entertainers or will tell the MC if it's a 7 o'clock show, 8 o'clock show, and they think kids are coming in, or even if it's a 12 o'clock show, noon, and the kids are coming in, we need you guys to watch what you say.
But what about the clothes? What about when you want to show boobs and body? That's part of character.
I personally don't think that it's a good idea because even though I have a G-rated show, there are times that I make gestures that's not appropriate for kids. You know what I'm saying? And there's no disrespect to the entertainers out there. I think if 11 years old, if the parent brings, that's cool. That's cool.
Hey, Morgan. Look at Morgan McMichaels. Hey, Morgan from RuPaul's Drag Race. I just think that, first of all, I don't think that they should bring the kids to some of the drag brunches. And I only say that because some of the drag brunches, they encourage you. First of all, you can't do ballads. So you don't need to be gowned up and all glamorous and classy. They want you to be raunchy and high energy and high end numbers. And that's not to say that they don't have high end numbers that are not X-rated, but so many people want to do Beyonce and Rihanna, you know, the popular girls that's naked and scandalous, Megan Thee Stallion and Cardi B.
So are you talking about the lyrics, or are you talking about their gestures?
I'm talking about the lyrics. I'm talking about the costumes. I'm talking about the gestures
because they hear the lyrics on the radio.
Well, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that the children they want to fault the entertainers or the club owners. You can't fault the club owners or the entertainers. No. But I'm not going to change my act because you didn't change yours. When I say that, I mean you knew what you were coming to. Don't go to the owner and complain about this girl doing Tina Turner half naked when you brought your kid here and you knew what it was. You know, and Morgan is on here. Morgan always give that disclaimer because she works at the Hamburger Mary's out in Ontario. I'll say that name. And a lot of kids come, and Morgan is raunchy on the mic and raunchy, but she will always say, honey, it might not be the best, most kid-friendly show. So she says that before so you can take your kids somewhere else. That is what I'm saying. Congress is trying to blame the entertainers and the club owners. That's not on us. That's not on me. That's not on you. That is the argument. Yeah, that is the argument.
Oh. But I feel when the parents allow their kids to come in there, it makes the entertainer feel as though, okay, well, you brought them in here, we're going to do our show. Which is a show that they might do may not be up to par for the parent. But
that's fair.
That is fair. If Tina dropped a song today, Tasha, and you are one of the greatest Tina Turner impersonators in the world next to me, let me say it right. But if Tina dropped a song today and with her old body and was naked and woo, baby, you don't think that you would get that costume and do that, and you're not going to change your act? And this is what I'm saying.
And I don't want any kids messing with my money or messing with my artistic impression because they're there. You know, because there are adults there that want to see stuff like that.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's like
And so when
I don't know.
Well, I don't want them blaming. Hey, Morgan, I don't want them blaming the entertainers or the club owners. Hey, Morgan McMichael's RuPaul's Drag Race. Hey, Morgan.
Hello, Miss Flame Monroe. Miss Sasha Long.
I'm sorry. Hey, baby, how are you?
I am good. I'm very excited to join this conversation. I was like, I need to be in this.
You do, because you host brunches, and kids, and I've been at brunches with you, and bitch, you know your mouth is filthy, ignorant, worse than mine. But you always give a disclaimer.
Well, and Flame, I don't want to sound hypocritical because I have a profile picture that I had up maybe a month ago with me doing a brunch, and there was a kid outside, and I gave him a hug, and they took the picture of that. But at the same time, like I said, when you see them, you be like, oh, that's so sweet. But you don't think, of what's going on at that particular time. And then when I go backstage, I'll be like,
Yeah.
I wonder how this,
All right. Well, thank you, TT Long, for giving us that. Y'all can follow Tasha. She does her show every Thursday on her live. We're going to talk to Morgan, Tasha. I'm going to call you after I got some shit to tell you.
I love you, guys.
Thank you. You do it, Cologne. You know I don't know how to do it. Hi, Morgan. So, Morgan.
How do I get out of this?
Tasha, I still want you to come to LA.
Yeah. Right. We want you to do, but Morgan's telling you to come to LA so she going to book you. But let me tell you about that. Because I've told my flamettes who Morgan McMichael is to me. Because when I was blacklisted here in Southern California from working at the drag shows, Morgan went against the grain of all the bitches that told her, not only that they didn't want me working at their club, they would told everybody, don't book me anywhere. Morgan went against the grain and said, you know what? The bitch is entertaining. She's on time. I like her. She always booked me. So I love her. And me and Morgan have had words before, but I love me some Morgan McMichael. So thank you for joining us today, Morgan.
I think it's so interesting that, the expectations of entertainers right now are, they're trying to, I feel like we're trying to be boxed in. I feel like we do what we do. And like Flame said, I give a disclaimer. And, if there are kids in the audience, that's a parent's decision, I think. But I also tend to tone it down if there are kids there, especially with the words I use on the microphone. And like at night, Flame, we go ham on that mic.
Well, the kids don't really come at night, but in the brunches in the daytime. So, and we've been, Morgan, when you book us, y'all encourage us to do high energy numbers for brunch, upbeat numbers.
Oh, yeah.
So, sometimes we're naked, sometimes it's a scandal, but I love that you give disclaimers. A lot of entertainers and MCs or hosts don't. They just go for it. They're like, it ain't my kid. You shouldn't have brought him.
And the thing I like about like Hamburger Mary's in Ontario, which is the only brunch that I do that is a kind of a restaurant all ages, is that they're willing to give the parents money back, or the table their money back before anything's ordered or any any foods, because it is a drag show. And like you said, drag is as an artistic expression of the individual. And like Flame, you are not only a celebrity illusionist outside of the comedy. Like, so if you're on the mic, yes, it's comedy. But like, if I said, hey, I need Tina Turner right now, or hey, we're going to do whatever, and you're like, I can accommodate you in that, and we do that. But then drag is sexy, drag is fun, and drag, there's a lot of bachelorettes, there's a lot of birthday parties, and divorce parties, or whatever kind of parties they have. They are not trying to sit there and see some G-rated stuff. They want to see some raunchy things too. So we walk a fine line as entertainers, and like, I just believe it's up to the parents.
Well, how do you feel about Congress implementing that? Because Congress is actually trying to blame the entertainers and the club owners. That's not on Congress. That's not on the entertainers. Morgan, if you're going to do one of your, what number I love to see you do? Get spell away with me to another world. That song, I don't even know the name of it. But you have on your little blue jean shorts with your body out and everything, and the breast, and those breastplates look real to me sometimes. So imagine what it looks like to a 4-year-old or a 5-year-old coming to there with pasties on it. They don't understand that. So this is why I'm saying Congress needs to mind the business that pays them. A drag show ain't stopping that, and parents don't need to blame the drag queens, the entertainers, or the club owners for, you brought your kid to this. You knew what you were coming to.
Well, I think there's a big narrative right now, especially from the right wingers, that are they're deflecting, and it was been this all started just after the shooting, and all of a sudden we are groomers, and we are these people that are trying to take kids into a different place. Now, Flame, you're a parent, and I have known about your kids.
Don't remind me.
I've known about your kids since I met you. You've always talked about them, and you've done whatever it took to make them happy and safe. And I'm not a parent personally, but I also think that, I think they're fucking with the wrong community, because like, you're picking on the LGBTQ community, and they always have, but now they're targeting like the ones that are the strongest and the craziest and the ones that will fight back the most. Entertainers, whether we are cisgendered males, transgender, whatever kind of category we fall into, we're entertainers. And we've always been the ones to raise money for each other, to raise money for the community, to spearhead and to fight back. Now, you want to pick a fight with us, please feel free. Please, I would love to go head to head. But you have to understand that if you in Congress are going to pick on entertainers and call us groomers and all that, we're the ones that do the most for the community outside of our own.
And to be honest, y'all also are the ones that got us through the pandemic, if we're going to be honest. Yeah. So, saying.
But if you're going to do that, you definitely have to figure out what's going to happen at Hooters. You're going to have to figure out what's going to happen at any place. Yeah. Tilted Kilt, any place where children are allowed, and there are women or men, waiters or waitresses that are scantily clad, or any sort of like where, it's these right wingers, this Republican situation. They are the party of small government, but they seem to be the ones trying to control private lives.
And y'all know Morgan is Scottish, so she liked the fight. Let me just tell y'all right now.
Not high. But
Morgan, somebody's calling you. Tell him I say you on live with me.
I don't know what happened. I know it was Honey Davenport, actually. But, I always think, like, if we're going, like, they're going to have to go to concerts. They're going to have to go to, what about cheerleading, football games? What about all of these things where sexuality is just a part of our society, whether we like to admit it or not?
Yeah, and see, Morgan, I was with the whole Storytime library thing with the drag queens doing Storytime until they started dressing like fucking Rihanna and Cardi B at the library. If you're gonna dress
See,
like Mrs. Doubtfire, I'm gonna let my kids come and listen to Storytime. But if you're gonna dress like a hooker, no, it's inappropriate to me.
well, there is tact, and there is kind of, so you should have some tact, and and we shouldn't tell any queen what to do with their aesthetic or how they express themselves. But you know what? Sometimes you're not for everything. You're not for every event. And I know that someone like myself, if I was to go do a drag queen story time, I would want to dress up like something fantasy. I would want to dress up in some sort. But you know what, Flame? This has been a conversation with people like you and I who've been doing drag before Drag Race and the popularity in society of Drag Race, excuse me. So there's a certain time and there's a certain place for things that, you don't go to Palm Springs and say, it's just an older crowd there, for instance, and they are into more Tina Turner. They're into more Diana Ross and all of the divas. Well, generally that age group of men are into Donna Summer and, Madonna, Kylie Minogue-esque music. Yeah. But then you don't bring Cardi B to a place like that. Yeah. It's just, you should know your audience and you should know how to accommodate for that. I'm getting my audition reel for RuPaul's Drag Race ready for the next season. Now, Flame, here's my thing. Let me tell you a story about it. And I was just having this conversation the other day. I am so happy that there's so many beautiful trans women and non-binary entertainers on RuPaul's Drag Race now, and they're really being celebrated. But here's what I need. I need a girl, a transgendered woman. I need a girl that's walk the walk and like an OG fight you in a minute on site bitch. That's what I need. Who you want me to? Tasha Long was just on here. You can get her. She's all that. I'm telling you, I love these new girls, and they're so. But I need a bitch that sucked a dick for $1. Well, I don't know her because $1 was never in my point. Right, but you know what I'm saying. I know what you're saying. But I want someone that actually experienced the trans lifestyle for decades. I want like a Dina Cass. I want someone that's going to snap back and snap necks. I want Ruth and you guys to do a half trans and half drag queen show. I think that would be for Mimi and Stasha and Raquel and some gorgeous, beautiful entertainers, and then you have a bunch of good drag queens that would be a great show. A legendary, just even having legendary queens on there, and it's not this whole age situation, because some of the most beautiful queens and the most entertaining queens to me are the divas from Stars of the Century and these Atlanta girls, and when you have people like Tommy Ross, all these fans of Drag Race who I love, and I think they are getting to see such fantastic things. And these new queens like Carrie Colby and Cornbread, and they're so entertaining and they're great. But let a bitch come out like Raquel Lord. And Tasha Long. Tasha is one of the greatest fucking entertainers we have ever had in the drag. And I ain't saying that because that bitch on here. I always tell her that. Fantasia will be fantastic on Drag Race. Could you imagine just what the fabric Fantasia would have on Drag Race on that stage? And I feel like the fans of Drag Race are missing out on so many aspects of the drag community because, things are starting to be introduced, like trans people are starting to get on Drag Race, and we've seen people like Evie Oddly and all of these kind of avant-garde drag. I love it. I just want more. I'm loving the inclusion that's happening with Drag Race now, because that was always my issue. There was no inclusion. Morgan, might I say that you're a very handsome young man with that beard, my darling. Oh my God, I'm almost turned on. Bitch, if I didn't know what you look like with a wig on, bitch, I might be trying to holler. but I want to even see more inclusion on Drag Race. I want to see some trans men as the pit crew. I want to see some trans women as the pit crew. We're the lesbian pit crew. I want to see more diversity on that side, not just with the queens. But it's moving along and it's moving forward, and that's all that really, really matters.
Morgan, I so appreciate you coming on with us and just sharing it, because Morgan, you do shows 3-4 times a week, so you're always experiencing all kind of audiences. And you're right, you really do need to know your audience. But it's just weird when you at the drag brunch and you don't know who's coming, because they don't tell you who's coming, and 4 or 5 kids come, and I already got in my mind, I'm about to do this scandalous something, and I didn't bring another costume to change. It makes you feel kind of, and then the people always want the kid to come up and tip you, and I do think that that's really cute. But if I got my tits out and I'm shaking my ass in the kid face, that is just inappropriate.
Well, there has been a time of we had this kid come, obviously in through the show, and they came up and they tipped, and I brought them up to do a little twirl, and people were tipping the kid, but then someone had complained oh my God, that's like prostitution. I said, baby, that's a child. And I think that those people that are accusing us of grooming and accusing us of trying to be sexual with these kids are the ones that are guilty of it themselves. And they're trying to deflect. And I also feel like I don't know anybody. I have never met anybody that's even, maybe I don't pay attention, but I just don't think that anybody that I know is even interested in doing any of that. Yeah. All the queens that I know are trying to take care of homeless kids or bring in people that need help or donate. And I'm quite mind boggled by that path that people are trying to put us on. And groomers, I'm sorry, I don't know about you, but I certainly don't have time to be looking for no kids.
Man, look, I'm trying to get rid of mine. I damn sure don't want nobody else.
They're almost old enough.
Thank God for Jesus. Morgan, I'm gonna have to come and do me a drag show. I ain't did a drag show in quite some time. I have to come and do me a drag show with you one day soon.
Well, if you ever get a minute to off that comedy tour.
This lady got me working. Blame her.
Good. Well, that's a good thing. I whenever I see my friends and my family, and they get on these shows like Drag Race or the comedy on TV, and I'm watching my friends on TV. I don't want to see you. I don't want to see you. When Mayhem, for instance, got on Drag Race, I was like, I don't want to see you. I'll see you next year. I want you to be gone. I want to FaceTime with you because I want my friends to be successful and busy. So whenever you do get a minute and do get a second to come hang out. But if not,
I will. I will. Mark, I feel indebted to you always because you knew what I was up against down here in Southern California. And it was never because I was not entertaining and didn't have beautiful clothes and the crowd didn't love me. It was because people didn't like me for personal reasons. Personal reasons never stopped my talent. And thank you for seeing my talent, Morgan.
Well, because you and I are very much similar in that respect. They don't like us because we're unapologetic about who we are.
That's because I'm part Scottish. I just didn't tell you.
Right, I knew it. I knew, they say there's black Irish. I knew you were black Scottish.
Oh, I'm good in black too. Oh, Morgan, I love you. Thank you for coming on and sharing the insight with us, Morgan McMichael. Y'all follow Morgan McMichael. She's RuPaul's Drag Race. She is Southern California royalty. She got a show everywhere. I'm going to come to a Mickey's one Monday night because that's what I like. I like Mickey's.
Oh, yeah. And you know what? I'm super excited because I started booking Mickey's in February. I took over the booking, and there's now a trans entertainer in the show every week. There's at least 2 queens of color in the show every week.
Morgan, thank you for that.
We're diversifying, and I connected Mickey's showgirls to an amazing charity called Sisters. So every week we do a group number at the end, and we donate those tips to a charity. So far we've raised over $9,000 for this charity. It's called Sisters in Pittsburgh. It's run by trans women of color for trans people of color. And I implore any show director, any person that does drag and does a drag show, connect your club and your show to a charity.
Oh, Morgan, that is great. Miss Morgan, you are a bad mother. Shut your mouth. I love that. I love you for that. Thank you, my darling. You are beautiful.
All right, be good.
Thank you, Morgan. Wow, what a show we had, y'all, today. Lauren Hogan, thank you for coming to work today. Look. Look, thank me for
what
coming.
that mean?
I'm messing with you,
I was
Lauren.
like,
Oh my!
Josh,
See,
all the time.
she been sitting there too quiet for too long. Now I had too much time.
Well, no, at times like this in the show where I'm not familiar with the topic, I will sit back and just let you have the conversation because I'm not all immersed in drag. I don't know the ins and outs of it, so it's okay for me to be quiet.
You work for AHF. You've seen plenty of drag, honey.
I have.
But thank you guys. Thank you for the information. Listen, whatever's important to you and to your family or how you raise your children, that is on you. The responsibility falls on you, not on your kid, not on the entertainer, and not on the club owner. It's on you. Please protect yourself. If you can get the monkeypox vaccine, I'm encouraging you guys to get it because this ain't even about sex. This is about skin to skin. And y'all know y'all love to hug me and touch on me and take pictures with me. And I don't want to seem rude or ignorant or disgruntled, but no. Because I don't want the monkeypox. I'm telling you now, it's a no for me. Because I can't do it. I'm scared.
Well, on that note, here at Laugh and Learn, we have a saying that we're never trying to get anybody to change your mind. Always just trying to get you to use your mind because...
And in order to use your mind, you have to have one. Tasha's IG address is Tasha Long, the Tasha Long. August 17th, I will be in Columbus, Ohio at the Columbus Funny Bone. You can go to the website to get your tickets. I'm going to make a commercial about it right now. There go Tasha right there, the Tasha Long. Follow her. She does a great show every Thursday on live. If you ever get a chance to see that woman live, her Dionne Warwick and her Tina Turner is so phenomenal. Her Whoopi Goldberg, she's a woman of characters, and she does them greatly. Follow her and do that. I'm at Tommy T's in Pleasanton, California, August 26th through 28th. Go to the website to get your tickets. And Chicago, September the 1st and the 4th. Tasha Long will be on my show in Chicago, September the 4th for the brunch. Or for the first, one of them. She on one of the shows. Might be on both of them. You can get your tickets at Eventbrite under He, She, We. Or is it? Yeah,
it's under Flame Monroe.
It's under Flame Monroe. So go to Eventbrite and get your tickets. Thank you guys for joining us. Use your mind. Think for yourselves because the decision that you make, the only person that's responsible for that decision at the end of it, if you're happy with it or not happy with it, is the person that's looking back at you in your mirror. This is Flame Monroe. This is Lauren Hogan. That is Mr. Kendall. Follow Lauren Hogan at Lauren Armani H on Instagram. And please subscribe to her YouTube page, which is Lauren Hogan. Also, she has built the Laugh and Learn page.
Yes, and you guys have been following us too. So we're actually probably going to start going live from that platform going forward. So make sure you follow us. That way you can get the notification when we start our lives. That's at Laugh and Learn Podcast. And you can follow Flame at Monroe Flame on Instagram, Marcus Flame Monroe Parker on Facebook. Don't follow the Twitter. It's full of porn. And Flame Monroe 125 on TikTok.
Oh, that's right. I do have TikTok. Oh, my God. And Instagram, I'm at Monroe Flame. Y'all out here, right?
I said that already.
Flamettes, I love you. I thank you guys. Please follow Morgan McMichaels, Bobby Clifford. TT Jan does the real TT Jan every Thursday night. She has a column where she comes on live. She's greatly worldly lived. She talks about everything and she'll answer your questions. And we appreciate you. Don't miss an episode of Laugh and Learn. Listen and subscribe on the Black Effect Podcast Network, iHeartRadio app, or wherever you get your podcasts. Laugh and Learn Podcast is a production of the Black Effect Podcast Network and iHeartRadio. Our executive producer is Tiffany Haddish. Our theme music is by the one and only Chrissy Payne. Thank you guys. This is Flame Monroe. Don't forget to laugh, listen, and learn.